So with it being the end of the season, I figured I would do another behind the scenes video for this year to kind of talk about what's changed compared to my previous behind the scenes videos. Here on the roof, everything is pretty much the same. All the snowflakes are the same, the matrix is the same. The only thing I changed is I went to C9 bulbs. Let's see here. Not super excited with them, they look great, but if I get close here, you can see just in one season they're already yellowing. Well, so be it. I also wanted to add singing faces. I'm going to kind of talk about this. The biggest change this year, though, was I wanted to go up. So I wanted to go up, but I also wanted to make sure I didn't puncture anything in my roof. No screws allowed, no nails allowed, no holes allowed. So what I ended up doing, if I kind of come back here, is building structures. You can see for this singing face, I have a structure that I built that I hold down with sandbags. I'm probably going to leave those up all year round. It doesn't really hurt to do anything. I'll take down the structure itself. If I come over here, it's essentially just 3/4 inch EMT that I bolted together, bent 90s at the bottom, and then just using regular clamps for EMT, clamped it and screwed it to the 2x4s. While I'm here, I might as well point out just a couple other little things about how I do my display. You'll notice I have these wires jumping everywhere. I actually do self power injection. So basically the power is coming in, I jump it off to other points within the prop where it makes sense to be able to distribute that power evenly depending on what lights are on. But I also still do power injection. You can see my power injection line coming in there. That's only because that snowflake's connected to that snowflake, connected to that singing face. You can see the same concept here on the backside for the snowflakes. They each have their own structure and their own base. The middle one's a little different. I actually didn't intend to have a snowflake up there initially. That square opening you see was for a P10 matrix that once I put it up I realized I really didn't like it, so I put another snowflake up instead, and the P10 matrix became my Tune 2 sign, and my old Tune 2 sign is a backup. Also, up here is really controlling everything on the roof. I've got 2 boxes here, each of them are identical. You see inside I have 1 receiver card, and then for each power supply they have their own power distribution board. And the way I have it set up is I'm using 2 ports for each power supply. So the power for this one is running 2 ports, the power for that one is 2 ports, so that I can distribute it and still get the full utilization of that particular receiver card, but be able to power as many props as possible. So actually there's a total of 8 ports up here that run everything on the roof, except for the matrix that's down there. Same situation over there. You can see again the structures with the sandbags. We've had 60-70 mile-an-hour winds and this didn't move. Nothing moved. I also, to ensure that, I wanted these snowflakes to be able to actually move with the wind. You can see here they can flop around. So what I did is they're connected to paracord. And that allows for them to be able to freely move and not be so much of a parachute, I guess you could say, during the windy season. Also, you can see here, yes, I do power inject a lot. It just allows for me to fully utilize the controllers. And I think that's everything that's really different up here on the roof. Just kind of a recap, how I have it actually set up is that over here, these 10 snowflakes are running off of 1 port. These 8 are another, and then the other 8 are their own port. The entire ridge line is 1 port, and then the arches and the stars are all together on 1 port. And then, as I mentioned, snowflake to singing face, which was an addition this year, and I will say a very, very huge hit with the audience. I was surprised on how much they absolutely loved them. And then that snowflake got its own port just because it was an afterthought. See the mega tree over there? The front gates, all of that's the same. Kind of controlling wise, the Megatree has its own controller. I have a controller dedicated just for it, just because of how much of a focal point it is in my display. I didn't really want to mess with it too much. And then in the front there, you see the trash can behind the bench. There's another controller there running everything on the front. My Matrix is running off of a 4-port receiver. You can see the lines going down over there where the receiver is at. A couple of things I'm thinking about for next year that might be a little bit different. I'm looking to maybe stand up all the snowflakes. Probably won't have as many if I do that, which is fine. I think it'll look better. Maybe adding some down this ridge line and down the other side on that ridge line. Not sure yet, thinking about it. Also thinking about maybe in between these towers, adding verts. I think those would be kind of cool looking. Not 100% sure. Anything else I've been thinking about? No, I think that's about it. Having this setup up here, I will say though, I really like. In previous years, if you saw my videos, I had just boatloads of wires running up to the roof, and it looked really bad down in the front of my house. Pissed my wife off, so I need to clean it up a little. So moving everything up here and using the power of these receiver boards has definitely made a big difference in my display. Much happier with this new setup up here, and it's been flawless. I haven't really had any issues at all. I guess I'll kind of note a couple other things. I do label everything. All of the wiring gets labeled, so I know, power supply 1 goes to power supply 1, 2 to 2, and then that corresponds, just to make sure I'm not crossing the V+, the same as in the other box. And allows for me for a quick and easy setup. Even the power coming up, of course I waterproof it. It's sitting on my roof. The last thing I want is a fire. And then of course everything is heat shrinked with silicone, the sealant type of heat shrink, just to make sure that it's fully waterproof. For pigtails, I use those for the actual props. For power injection, I use Delphi connectors. And then I do it usually in between props. You can see here's an example of that. Here's another example of that. I just make these little T's for the power injection and then put it between the props. Makes it nice and clean. Also pretty modular that way. Same situation over there. And this one is because it's coming off the end. You can see here the pigtail coming off the end of the prop. On the other side is a power injection input. And I guess that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Happy holidays to everyone.